And we are live. All right. It's interesting. We're 2 minutes late from the normal 8 p.m. start time, but we're 3 minutes early from the 8:05 p.m. that I had to restart it for because I had originally set it to 8 a.m. All right. What a year it has been. And this is the last installment. Oh, my goodness. We're here. KloobySnack time.
Oh, I'm here. I don't know who else. It's just me. Anyways, as he was saying, last snack time of the year. Not sure where he went. Hopefully he comes back. Oh,
that was weird.
I just got a second.
Yeah, I get like the excitement maybe is so palpable.
You said we're here, and then you left.
Yeah. Well, if anybody else wants to join in, here's the link, right? Per normal, tinyurl.com/KloobySnack 52 is this week. So this is the 52nd week of the year, the 52nd live stream with my daughter, Abby. Although I think, you did all right. I think you maybe missed like, 5 of them all year long, 5 or 6?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably an A- on when it comes to attendance. But here we are. It's a special one because I'll tell you, not only is it the last one of the section, the integrity flavored Baker's Dozen, we have 4 Baker's Dozens: loving flavored, ego flavored, discipline flavored, and integrity flavored. It's the 13th in the section. It's the last one of the book, the year. And this is the first time first December in, I want to say 5 years, that I haven't been scrambling to finish a book to get it done by January 1st to have in my hand to get ready to do another year of live streams. In other words, this is the last live stream of 6 consecutive years of me doing live streams of my books. Mm-hmm. And I made a conscious choice to let go and to not do it next year. I may pick it up again down the road, but this is kind of it for a while. 6 consecutive years of doing live streams every week. And then, of course, how do you top KloobySnacks? I mean, what an amazing ride it's been with you. And I want to hear from you in a second here, so let me quickly get to it. We know that I wrote the intro to all 4 Baker's Dozens. Then you wrote the response to the first 12 snacks in each Baker's Dozen. And then I wrote the response to the last snack. So 13, 26, 39, and now 52. So here we are again. And when I set that up for like transition to intro and then to exit and outro and then intro, but this is swan song. So I'm preparing to get emotional here, although I think I'm ready. I was taking a little sneaky peek at what the content is. But yeah, I've struggled at times this year, like keeping a straight face and not, tearing up about all of the enormity that we've gone through. But let me stop there and ask, how are you feeling? What's on your mind as you reflect? I'll ask you again after I read what I have to read today, but what do you have to say, Abby?
I mean, like, I know that it's like the last one of the year. Like, I know that. I'm well aware of that, but it also doesn't feel like it. Like, this feels like it's just like the norm, and it's like my new norm. And I feel like I'm still at times adjusting to these like once a week live streams and reading a KloobySnack a week and talk about my response. And it still feels like new at times, because I feel like every snack feels so new and every week it's something new. So it feels like we're not at the end of it yet, even though I know that this is the last one. It doesn't feel like it is, even though we already like last week finished my last response. Like, it doesn't feel like we did yet. I feel like I'm like, oh no, we still have next Sunday and it's going to keep going. Like, this is still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, what's interesting, there's a lot there. First of all, we could always do live streams if we want to. We could always get online and talk and stream it out and share our relationship with the world. We can continue to do that. Mm-hmm. We don't need a new book for that. We can start all over again and read these. There's not that much finality. But what I think, one of the things that I think is interesting here, Abby, is that you wrote these responses to all of the snacks, but didn't write an intro to a section, didn't write an outro from a section. Do you know what I'm saying? So in other words, there's a lot of like, quote unquote, like defining the moment, right? You were transactionally cruising along and reflecting on each KloobySnack that you responded to, but nothing like definitional or where you define the section or the flavor or the book or the project. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put a bow on things. I'm trying to, like, as my good friend AK would say, define the moment. I'm always trying to define the moment and establish a meaning, package everything and wrap it up in some meaning making. But before we get into it tonight, do you have anything along those lines? Before we read tonight's snack number 52. And by the way, I see a lot of eyeballs online. So if anybody wants to join us online and join the conversation and hop in, there's the link. It's easy to just jump right in, tinyurl.com/KloobySnack52. But Abby, go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah, I think that like at the time, like while we were writing it, I don't think that I would have like felt ready to do any of that like defining and like the intros for like each section and talking about like them as a whole, because I think I struggled individually with all of them, but I think like now after like having them all written and talking about them with you and learning more about them and like living these KloobySnacks in my responses, I would be able to do more of that defining. But I think like at the time, like me just doing my responses, my 12 responses per baker's dozen, like that was like fitting. Like that's what I felt like qualified to do, but also still struggled with and was still able to learn from. You know what I mean? But I think like now, over a year later, like it's shifted a little bit. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Yeah. I'm eager to see. I mean, we did the year, we did the weeks, but I think the project is going to live and grow. Your reflections on some of the things have changed and just, since you wrote originally last year. So that's been a fun part of the project. And we have to believe that it's going to continue, like your perspectives on everything that we've discussed. But, think about love, ego, discipline, and integrity. Like these 4 words have to mean something completely different to you now than what they meant before. And then taken together, it represents something as well. Do you have anything to say about the 4 baker's dozens, the flavors that we came up with?
Yeah, I think that a lot of this project, like as we talked about with like the passing the recipe down, that whole thing, it's like I'm learning what love, ego, discipline, and integrity meant for you and like applying your definitions and your interpretations to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've done that part, but I think like now it's like after that and after learning from you and all and that like now it's like taking what I've learned from you and then applying it to my own definitions and my own interpretations of these 4 things, which I think is like the active step that's happening now where I take what I know from you and I've learned from you, especially within the past, like 14 months. Is it 14?
Well, I'm going to say 15, October, November, December.
Yeah.
We really got into gear in October.
Yeah. So like what I've learned about these 4 baker's dozens, flavors, categories, words, concepts, I've learned a lot about what those mean for you and how you see those 4 things within the past 15 months of the project. And now I think based off of that, that's like a starting point for me to build my own definitions and of these 4 flavors, which I think would be interesting if we touch back in some amount of time. I don't know yet. I think that there will be a perspective shift where it's like I take what I like know and learn from you and then get to like redefine them for me. So I think that that's like a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. Well, I feel like, especially because there's a little bit of content to work through, that I think we should go ahead and do a review of the snacks. What do you think?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about doing the review of the snacks?
Like reading them?
Well, yeah, I'll try to put them on the banner. Like I could stream them across, or I could screen share if you want, and we could do it that way.
Yeah.
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 All right. So we'll do it that way. Let me see if I get my windows together here. All right. So let's screen share. No, not leave studio. Oh no, I already did that once. All right, here we go. Let's try this again. All right. So we're going to do a review of the snacks that we've covered so far in the integrity flavor. You should be able to see my screen now. Yeah. All right. So go ahead, Abby. We started, and again, I wrote the intro to the section, and then we started with snack number 40.
Number 40. Behavior is the evidence of our integrity.
Yeah. And then 41.
41. Honesty is a strategy. A lie is a tactic.
Yeah. I'm not going to elaborate too much on these because I have in weeks past, and there's so much to read through tonight. But go ahead on this one.
Number 42. Accountability will always feel like an attack when we are not ready to be 100% responsible for our own behavior.
Mm-hmm. Well said. And number 43.
We are never guilty of ignorance, but we are always guilty when willfully ignorant.
Yeah, I love that one. And 44.
Critical thinking creates ideas, strategic thinking makes them work.
Yeah, hats off to Jennifer Horspool, who agreed with you when you wanted to reword that snack. Well done. Number 45.
Never let the possibility of not achieving your goal stop you from pursuing your goal.
Yeah, so often it's the pursuit that holds the highest value. Number 46.
If you don't know your purpose, how can you ever know what anything is really worth?
Yeah, I say things like you can't build a mansion on top of quicksand. So if we don't know purpose as a foundation, what are we doing? Like, what are all of our activities and behaviors and decisions tethered to, if not purpose? How can we value anything? Oh, it's so tempting to elaborate on all of these every single week. Go ahead with 47.
47. Many people say they have to when truthfully they choose to.
Isn't that the truth? Truthfully. All right, 48.
Many people confuse a goal with a hope, wish, or a dream.
Yeah. We want time bound and specific and measurable to get from a hope, a wish, or a dream to a goal. Number 49.
We must be as clear about the things we want to learn as we are accepting of the things we must learn.
This is one of my favorites. This one, you can go a lot of different directions. We can elaborate on it, but that's one of my favorite KloobySnacks. And I say that about a lot of them, right? Number 50.
Number 50, 100% of our behavior is preceded by a belief.
Heavy. Yeah, very rarely will I get through an integrity game keynote without laying this one down. Several of the KloobySnacks that we read in this section show up conversationally or mechanically in the integrity game keynotes and workshops. Number 51.
51. Left to our own devices, we will excuse ourselves more than we will confront ourselves.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. There's a review of snacks, and this is a good one, right? We let ourselves off the hook. I was, it's interesting. I was at the football game with Uncle T-Bone yesterday, and like it was weird, like kind of like, I don't know if you've heard the song "Joker's to the Left of Me." Here I am stuck in the middle, but you know what I'm saying? That stuck in the middle with you. But anyway, it was like the first quarter of the game, and somebody's like yelling at the referee for making some call, and I was like, wow, they came to me that like, if somebody wants to get angry, they'll find a reason. And I was trying like, well, let's try to make sure it's a really good reason. Right? It's the first quarter. What are we getting angry about? It's a football game. It does, but people have this outlet. But on the other side, somebody was on the other side. I mean, somebody was like, oh, I really like, he's talking about the coach. Really like the John Harbaugh era. I'm really excited about John Harbaugh. And I'm like, wow, if somebody wants to be happy, they can find a reason. But let's make sure it's a really good reason. So on both sides, if you want to get angry or if you want to be happy, you can find a reason. But I'm just hoping we can make it the best reason possible. I don't know, how much of a through line there is to number 51, left to our own devices. We will, excuse ourselves more than when we will confront ourselves. But self-reflection, right? Holding ourselves accountable, creating a standard, understanding that standard, holding ourselves to that standard rather than just willy-nilly behavior, letting emotion and reaction take over. I don't know, I'm digressing. I want to go ahead and get to number 52, but before I do, is there anything else you want to say before we get into it? Because this is it. This is like, I'm going to start reading now. It's going to get heavy.
No, I'm excited, actually. I think a lot of the ones that I did miss from, like, a lot of the live streams that I did miss were the ones where you were reading. But which wasn't on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, I think that I recall there was like two maybe where I tried to read your writing and it always felt weird or, awkward, trying to put voice to your cadence. But let's go ahead and get into it, right? Here we go. This is it. Drum roll, please. It's so appropriately number 52. And it goes a little something like this. Although my kids are doing a great job, it's really hard to raise our parents. So here we go. You ready, Abby?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in January 2007, Get A Klu earned its first revenue ever, $500 for a 1-hour instructional talk on effective meetings for task-oriented groups. That week, I also found out we were pregnant with Abigail. As I recall, the same day my grandfather, Louis Klubeck, Papa Lou, passed away. I removed his glasses and closed his eyes at the hospital that morning, as I recall, and that afternoon, Marianne gave me the quote, "Well, if it makes you feel any better," end quote, news that her second child was coming. I knew it would be a girl. I hoped she'd appreciate Lou as her middle name. The prior summer, my dad had a heart attack and needed quadruple bypass surgery that brought a fear to my mother that I will forever believe accelerated her physical decline. It's sufficient to say that I was now in the concerned about my parents phase of life, and it lasted until they passed 3 weeks apart in September 2020 at 76 and 73, respectively. Way too young, yes, but not when you take diet, exercise, and mindset into account. They've lived pretty long. I'm editorializing, but given those things, they actually did pretty well. All right. Did my dad stop smoking after his heart attack and open heart surgery? Did my mom really try to kill herself on pain meds? Or is that just the excuse she gave my dad and brother when she ran out and needed more? It's hard to raise your parents. I always struggled with trying to help them live healthier or plan better or make better choices, and I always failed. That was until I stopped trying at the very end. Smoke them if you got them. It's your life. Morphine is on the counter. You can have all you want if you get up and get it yourself. Just don't ask me to kill you. Please. It's hard to raise your parents. I remember clearing out their house after they passed and finding all of my mom's players' membership cards from about 40 different casinos around Vegas, immediately flooding my mind with images of dad walking around smoking while mom pumped the slots. That many players' cards meant hundreds of hours in smoke-filled casinos. It's hard to raise your parents. The praises I have for my parents are many, but this snack is partly about the ways we as parents either do or do not get better as people so we can be better parents. I do not think I would be half the person I am, half as loving, self-aware, disciplined, or integrous if it weren't for wanting to be the best dad I could possibly be for my kids, especially my only daughter. From beating nicotine addiction and quitting smoking for good, to building a consistent six-figure lifestyle coaching practice, to publishing 5, now 6, now 7 books, including an Amazon #1 bestseller, to the 3 Amazon #1 bestsellers at this point now, to the thousands of adult learners I've taught public speaking since learning we were pregnant with Abby. In 2007, I've never been more committed to being the best version of myself I can be. I'm glad that she sees me eating healthily. She hasn't always. I'm glad that she sees me doing my 1-hour walks when I do them. I'm happy that she likes the same ice cream flavors that I do, and happier when she says impressive when one of our flavors lasts more than a couple of days in the freezer. Impressive. I love that. Impressive. I'm happy when she overhears the coaching sessions I conduct when working from home. And because KloobySnack, surgeons do not operate on themselves, I'm even happier when she hears the sessions I receive from my coaches. I'm glad she has seen me go months without drinking. And all too often, she has seen me drink far too much. I am sincere when I apologize, and I wish I never had to. I'm glad that she sees me dream, set goals, pursue my potential, apply discipline, strive to always communicate, and brave the tough parts, even though I'm as awkward, imperfect, mistake-prone, and self-preserving as anyone. I want to say that, like my wife before her, to this day until the end of time, Abby makes me want to be a better person. Through all of the mistakes and imperfections and regrets and apologies, I've achieved so much on the motivation of wanting her to be proud of me. I have grown so much. I work on myself so much. I practice discipline and love and self-awareness and wrote a whole book called The Integrity Game because I want more integrity in my life, to be a better son, to be a better husband, to be a better father. It is not only so I am not a burden to my kids when I get older, but so they are proud of me all the while and motivated by my examples to be the best versions of themselves they can be. My first son did earn an NCAA Division I baseball scholarship. Abby did all the things you have read about in this book, including writing this book. All 48 of her responses to KloobySnacks were written by her in less than 6 weeks, and most of them over a 1-week span during Thanksgiving break. I couldn't be more grateful to be Abby's dad. This KloobySnack is fittingly number 52. As the book closes out, it should be easy to see how much being Abby's dad has taught me. That this book is not just about raising a daughter, it's about the loving ego, discipline, and integrity it takes to succeed in relationships of any kind. We just happen to share these Klooby snacks through our precious, vulnerable, and transparent lenses. We hope this peek into our daddy-daughter dynamic helps make it easy, safe, and fun for you to take a deeper look into your role in your most cherished relationships. Thank you for sharing Klooby Snack Time with us. We'll love to hear from you in writing, info@getaklu.net, or in 2025 or in 2026, now that 2025 is gone, on our weekly live streams on social media where we'll be cooking and consuming all 52 snacks. So there you have it. And then space for note taking. And just thought we'd show this little picture. And about the authors, that's me. And that's you.
Mhm.
And that's a wrap. And here's some of those books I was mentioning. It's kind of weird. Since I wrote the book, I've done 2 more #1 bestsellers. Since we wrote the book, you've had your first paid television commercial. You got accepted to Fordham. You've finished your first. I mean, it's just like amazing. A year later, all of these accomplishments keep rolling in. Yeah. But let me pause here and just ask, I don't know if you'd ever read that or if I'd ever read it to you, but of course, how does it sound? How does it feel now when you're after the fact?
Well, I remember when you read it to me, and I think, like, around that time is when I started, like, see, I think and I don't think I'm the only person that did this. I think this, like, might be, like, a universal thing, but, like, seeing I saw you and mom as just, like, you and mom, like, that, like, you, like, and it's hard to imagine you as just, like, Jeff, and you as just, like, you were, like, I don't know, like, with this, like, your friends or with, like, your brother, I don't know, like, it's just hard to, like, picture you in any context that wasn't you as my dad. I think the same thing with mom, where, like, that's why I really get interested in, like, when you guys tell stories about your childhood, about, like, you and Uncle Dave, or mom would tell me stories about, like, her mom and stuff, because I, like, it's interesting to, like, see you guys as other than just, like, my parents. And on that, in that
Mm-hmm.
same way, interesting to that, like, it is a learning thing from you. Like, you guys weren't just, like, spawned in as my parents, and then you knew how to do everything. Like, you, as, like, you were, like, helping me grow, you were growing too. Um, and I never thought about, like, you growing from me, or, like, me being, like, a motivator for you. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like it's hard for me to, like, conceptualize you guys just not knowing how to be parents, and, like, you guys weren't just, like, spawned in as my parents. Like, you guys are learning too, even though, like, you, like, had AJ before me. Like, I'm still, like, first daughter, and, like, learning how to, like, navigate that. And it's, like, it's interesting to think about how we're learning together, and how, like, whether I'm trying to or not trying to, or indirectly or directly, like, teaching you and, like, like, raising you. It's interesting to think about. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's my immediate thought, because it's not something that, like a thought that I would not naturally have. Like, I think about it sometimes after, when you would, like, tell me stories, or when you told me that you like, stopped smoking after, like, you found out that you guys were gonna have me, or after I was born, or one of the two. Like, after, like, hearing stuff like that, I'd be like, wow, like, they're, like, learning too, and they weren't just, like, here as my parents. Like, they were once, like, literally, like, me, like, a high school or a college student or whatnot, and, like, they don't have, like, a tutorial guide on how to be a parent. Like, they're learning too, which is it's something that, like, I think it's like a thought that doesn't come naturally, but it is interesting to think about. And I think, like, this KloobySnack, like, helps me learn. It's like, wait, I'm teaching you something when I'm, like, not trying to, and, like, I'm motivating you by just, like,
Well, yeah, yeah.
I
Like, you represent, like that's the latter part of what I read. You represent, you're an icon of my desire to be a better person, right? And let me ask you about this. How did you feel about the early parts where I got, like about my parents, right? Like, because it's hard to raise our parents.
yeah.
It's
I
so
think
so hard. I stopped trying. You know what I mean? Like some of that trauma for me, and losing them 3 weeks apart, and all of the lifestyle choices and habits and patterns and willful ignorance that I saw them embrace. And do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm just curious if you have a perspective on that. Yeah.
I think when that 3-week period, and that time, like, I was in 7th grade. Like, I was 13. I was Brody's age. Um, or I had, like, just turned 13, actually. It was my
Hmm.
13th birthday. And when that was all happening, so I was old enough to start being exposed to these types of things, but not old enough to for you guys to kind of fully tell me everything, or old enough for me to completely understand and be able to like link things together and understand things. But now I think like I can see a tie between like where like the same ways that you were like concerned about your parents, the way that those concerns have like come down to like the way that you're like concerned about like me and like my health and my eating habits and how much water I'm drinking and how I'm taking care of myself. Because sometimes it feels like those things are just like coming out of nowhere and it's just like, okay, dad, like, yes, okay, dad, like, I get it, dad. But I think that I'm now like old enough to see the like linkage between those two things and see like the like shared concern or just like kind of like the root of that concern for me. And then also when you try to like be an example and it's like, oh, like, see, I'm like the walks and I'm drinking this like much water every day and like this, like I'm actually like mindful of what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, and like I'm not gonna eat ice cream every single day. It'll only be like on like certain days or like you know what I mean. Sure, yeah, even though whatever. All of that ice cream that we got recently, I didn't have any of it, by the way. Let me just say that. But
I think there's plenty still in there. Anyway, whatever.
We'll see. But like I see now like how you're being the example for me now that you didn't have. Because before it was hard for me to ever see the connection between those. It's like I know that your parents didn't have the best habits, and I know that you wanted me to have good habits. And I know that you wanted to show me you having good habits, but like I wasn't able to like put them together. It's like you're being the parent for me that you wish you had, and like you want me to grow in the ways from a parent that you didn't get to. And like I think I am so lucky to be able to.
That's it. That's it. I mean that's it.
Clip
that's
that.
It.
I think that I am so lucky to be able to learn the things from you that you wish that you were able to learn from a parent, and that like you learned on your own and learned much later than I did. And like I get to learn that so early and get to learn that from you because you know what it's like to like not have that and like to have to do it yourself and learn yourself and find out yourself and seek that knowledge and find those like the lifestyle choices and just like overall just like, does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Well, 100%. I mean, I think you nailed it. But then I would only want to add to that before we got into the book, right? You know, think about it. Think about the summer prior, right? Oh, hey, Charlie's coming on. Think about the summer prior and how difficult and how tense things were when Mom and I had tried to go away and we were working on our thing and we asked, you know what I mean? Like all the stuff, right? So what I'm getting at is not only did you get it, but there was a time a couple months earlier where I'm like, all this work, all of this, I'm trying to be a better parent for you, trying to be the parent for you that I didn't have, you know what I mean? And trying to, what you just said it perfectly. But there was a time where I was like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I'm getting through. I don't know if she's ever going to listen or if I'm ever going to say it properly. You know, like there was despair. And part of the victory of this book is that I didn't give up, right? But I was worried. I was concerned. I remember like coming into your room, like, you know, just crying because I didn't know what else to do. I love you so much and I want so badly to be a better parent for you than my parents were for me and to all of the stuff that you said. So let me go ahead and get away from the emotional. Let's add Charlie here. Charlie, hey, can you hear us? Uh-oh. Charlie.
Hi.
Hello, Abby.
Hi. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is he muted?
What's going on here?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, technical difficulties, Charlie. How are you, man?
Holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very well, thank you, Coach. And how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And how are the holidays going? Everyone enjoying themselves?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything's good. Listen, you know, we're just like close to last call. This is the last KloobySnack of the year, the last KloobySnack of the book, and the last live stream after 6 years in a row of doing live streams and dropping all of the nuggets and all the tips and all the Get A Klu in 52 and all of the KloobySnacks. I'm gonna give myself a pause in 2026 and make room for other projects and give myself a pat on the back. Job well done. 6 years in a row of doing a live stream every single week. It's going to be hard to follow up what we've done this year. And so we were just, you know, wrapping things up. I've already read tonight's snack and I'll put it up here again on the board in case anybody's joining late. It goes a little something like this. Although my kids are doing a great job, it is really hard to raise our parents. And I wrote the response to this KloobySnack. I did for number 13, 26, 39, and now 52. The intro to each section and the last response to the 13th, the baker's dozen KloobySnack of each section. And so Abby was just brilliantly reflecting on how she hears this now, that she in ways that she may not have been able to before. But Abby, go ahead if you have more to say in that regard.
Well, yeah, I can just kind of summarize it. I think I was talking about how recently I've been able to like realize the ways that like my dad was parenting me in ways that he wished he had and he didn't have. And he was being the example for me that he wanted and like lacked growing up. Which before I didn't really realize. I would kind of get annoyed when he was like trying to be like, oh, like, how much water did you drink today? Or like, are you like eating like real food before you're eating like dessert? And like making sure that I like got out of bed and was active and moved my body and did something. And I just get annoyed, but I realize that it comes from like a place of him lacking it and wishing that he had a role model like that in his life and that his parents would like pressure him and push him in the same ways, which I didn't really realize before. And I think that was like a recent thing through the writing of this book. But yeah, just in the past like year or two. So
yeah. And so Charlie, when you joined, and Vicky, I see you. Hello, Vicky. I don't know if you can hear us, but added you to the stage if you're only on your phone and if you want to say hello. But thanks for joining in. This is the last KloobySnack of the year. 6 consecutive years of live streaming all of my content, and that's like what 6 times 52 is probably around 312 recordings, right? 312 videos.
Hello,
of me.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey,
Can you hear me
hi,
now?
Vicky. How are? Yeah. Vicky, hello.
Yeah, I decided. When I saw the notification on my mail, I said I'm going to join the last one because I know it's the last one for the year. So I'm glad to join. And Abby, well done for the past 52 weeks. You've been awesome. Though I've not joined live, but I've been seeing you always showing up. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
For those of you that
right.
For those of you that don't know, Vicky is a marketing apprentice that I found through a service called Acadium and converted to compensated work after a 90-day kind of trial period. And she does it all. She could do the graphics. She could create content. She could create swipe files and items of value for funnels and landing pages and copy and emails, and just a brilliant person, Vicky. And by the way, congratulations on your master's degree. I'm going to do this, Abby. Are you ready? I don't. Yeah, I'm going to embarrass you, Vicky, if you don't mind. Why not? We're having the party here, and by now it's like we got South Africa and Nigeria represented, so we're tricontinental. But here we go. I got a text from Vicky the other day, Abby, and I'm going to read it to you. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready, Vicky? Congratulations. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
She says, I'm going to read it right now. She says, Jeff, I finally graduated from my master's program and defended my project research work. I had an A. And then she says, of course, I'm open for more work, on and on. But here we go. She says, I also include, are you ready, Abby?
Mm-hmm.
I also include your name on my project thesis acknowledgement list. God used you to help me go back to school. I will always be grateful for paying my fees. God bless you richly, Jeff. Oh. And Vicky, God has. Indeed, God has blessed me richly.
Yes.
And we were talking tonight about how hard it is to raise your parents. And I tell a story very often. It's hard for me to tell it without crying. But as you guys show up tonight, Charlie and Vicky, we were just talking about Abigail's realization that when I was always asking her about diet and movement and sugar and water and so forth, I was trying to be for her what my parents weren't for me. I wish people would put more pressure on me, and I wish there was more accountability. I wish that I was pushed harder and disciplined more than I was. And Abby was saying she used to consider it annoying, but now having gone through the process of KloobySnack, she actually realized it's like therapy. Like I'm trying to be for her what I didn't have. And Abby, you said it so much better, but it was twofold, right? And the fact that you made the connection. So here's what's interesting, right? I'm just connecting the dots. In my second year of college, my mom calls me and she says, Jeff, you're on your own. We don't have the money to enroll. We don't have the money to pay for you to be in school. So you're on your own. Sorry, Jeff. And she was heartbroken that she couldn't do it. They didn't have the money. So I go into campus the next day. I had a job on campus in media technology services. I told my boss, I said, hey, I just found out that I'm not coming back to college. My parents don't have the money. So I want you to know as soon as possible so you can find a replacement for me. And he's like, what are you going to do? I don't know. The next day at work, he took me, we would go to lunch every day. And then he took me to his boss's office. And then all three of us went. And when we sat down with our food, they started asking me all these questions. What's going on? Where else are you working other than here? Have you researched part-time student versus full-time student? I'm like, no, what's going on, you guys? Like, I'm just going to go home to LA and deliver pizzas. Like, that's that. Like, that's that. And they said, no. Abby, I don't know if you've ever heard this story. They said, no. First of all, we don't want to lose you. Like, we think you're smart. We think you're bright. You've learned the ropes. You're well-trained. I know you've only been working for us for 3 semesters, but we don't want to lose you. But second of all, you don't want to be a statistic. If you drop out of college, the chances of you coming back are like very low. And then what's your life going to be like if you just go down the rabbit hole of delivering pizzas? So I'm like, what's going on here, guys? And they said, well, at that time, part-time registration was only $371, right? $371 to register part-time. So you keep your continuity, but you could only take 2 classes, 6 units. You couldn't take full-time, 9 or more. You know what I mean? You could only take 2 classes, but at least you stayed. And they said, look, even if you're enrolled part-time as a student, you could still work the max 20 hours a week for us. So I'd be like, well, what's going on? They said, well, we want to lend you the money, $400. You go enroll right away and become a part-time student. You'll be able to work 20 hours a week. We'll make sure you get the full amount of hours, 20 hours. So that'll be 80 hours a month at whatever it was, $5.31 an hour or whatever it was. And they said, just pay us back $100 a month from your paychecks. And that way you stay in school, you continue to work with us. And they didn't say it, but they saved my life. Right? Now, the heavy part of the story is I went home that day and I'm like, I couldn't say yes right away. I went home to my apartment, first apartment ever on my own. And I called mom. And I'm like, hey, mom, like my boss is on campus. They want to lend me money to stay in school. And I don't know if I should do this. I don't know anything about anything. And I remember one time you cautioned me, don't borrow money from people because now you can't make any decisions without paying them back, and you're kind of scrutinized. You lose your freedom, and being in debt is not a good thing. And I'm like, but my gut tells me I should do this, Mom. And she was crying. She was crying, and she was crying. Abby, can you imagine? She was crying out of the guilt, the shame, the guilt. And she didn't have the money to enroll me in school. We're talking about $371 back then in 1991, whatever it was. And I hope you hear this story, Vicky. For some reason, I just put a bow on the story. It came to me. Yeah. It came to me, Abby. I'm trying to tell everybody here, but I don't know how it came to me, but it came to me. I was listening to my mom crying on the other end of the phone. And I just told her, I said, look, Mom, you can't be sad that you don't have the money. You have to be happy that you raised somebody that other people want to invest in. Your job isn't to be sad. Your job isn't to be sad right now. Your job is to be proud that there's these guys and they want to invest in your kid. You've raised a good kid. And I that's all I could do to keep her from crying. You understand? So all these years later, I got to put somebody through school. It's not the first time. Vicky, I remember when you told me about your master's degree and what the fees would be. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second. So if I just pay for your college, I get to be a hero, and then you'll stay on board as part of the team. But I don't know if you realize how depthfully important it is to me to be able to help you or anybody. Why do I teach on campus?
I will never forget such opportunity. Tomorrow when I have the opportunity to help someone go back to school, I'm going to do that because I was given that opportunity. So I will also do that.
Yeah. So it's interesting, Vicky, that you're here tonight and I get to share this anecdote. Like, I didn't pound my chest. I wasn't screaming from the rooftops. I wasn't like, hey, Abby, look what I did. It's just a quiet knowing about who I want to be in this world. Like, yeah, like you said, you only knew me as your dad, but my name's Jeff Klubeck, and I got a life. And I got a lot more work to do. But wow, what have we done? What have we done this year? KloobySnacks is really special. All right, so you guys ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
Last call. Last call for comments, questions, jokes, riddles, limericks, haikus, or expressions of gratitude. Let's go in reverse order. Charlie and Vicky, let's hear from you guys first, and then Abby and I will close out.
Well, Coach Jeff, I can't believe it's 6 years we've been doing this was it 2020 during COVID, when we started the first Get A Klu in 52. It was quite exciting, and it's been quite a journey. I've learned a lot. You've been a phenomenal coach. You've helped us all grow in our own ways, made us realize a whole lot of things that we weren't really sure that we could do it, and you just motivated and helped us along. Recording the addictive KloobySnacks, it's quite an honor to see that it has actually become a book. I look at this book and I hold it with pride. And Abby, you did a stellar job in interpreting the perspective of each KloobySnack, which really made it. I've always had this thing in mind that a KloobySnack is not a fixed quote per se. You can interpret it any way within anything that's happening within your life at that time. And Abby has just, made it clear that you can actually interpret any KloobySnack. And I actually love going through the book every now and then. And as I usually do, go through my folder and compare the snack and what was going in her mind, what's going in my mind at the moment. And again, thank you very much, Coach Jeff. It's been a wonderful journey with you. And the people that I've met along this journey as well have been phenomenal. Yeah. And Abby, I remember when we started these KloobySnacks, you were quite a little young girl going out to your performances, theater performances, etc. And you've actually grown to be a wonderful young woman who's actually, started out pretty well. And I wish you all the luck in your studies in next year as well. And
Thank
Coach
you.
Jeff,
Wonderful.
and the family,
Thank you.
all the best to the Klubeck family. AJ is doing pretty well on his baseball. And where's Brody? Brody is a bit in the background. What's happening there? What's happening?
He's coming. Don't worry about Brody. It's his time. He's getting a lot of love right now, and he's got the big room, and we've got some promises that we're keeping to Brody. We told him, hey man, your time is coming, bro, and it's that time is now. So don't worry about Brody. You'll be hearing a lot of noise from Brody.
Here's a good thing for Brody. He's got you both all to himself now.
Well, he's got like four parents. He's got like four parents. He's got me, Mom, AJ, and Abby. So there's a lot of. He's going to be ahead of his time a little bit. There's not many people that are going through what he's going through right now that have had the benefit of two older siblings, a boy and a girl, a brother and a sister that he got to see. Yeah. So he's not going to be shocked too much by a lot of the things that he's going to be experiencing for the first time. So we're happy about that. But let me go ahead and stick with the theme of last call and ask Vicky, do you have any final comments or questions or expressions that you'd like to share? I love you, Charlie. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, so I really love the concept of KloobySnacks because it's like a family culture, or is a combination of, okay, like from my own understanding of the KloobySnacks, I've read it. It's a snacks that your wife she's the one who is in charge of baking the snacks and all that. Then, but I saw the way you and Abby has worked hand in hand to bring life and to bring meaning into KloobySnacks. So, and I love the bond, like the relationship over the years you've had with Abby. I wish every father can have that bond with their daughter, and it's amazing. I've never seen such, where a father and a daughter will come together and make something out of nothing, put life into what the mother of the mother is doing, because I know it's from your wife snacks business, or snacks passion. You're able to put life into it. I love that family culture, and I love the communication. And also to you, Jeff, I love your sense of humor, the way you always smile and make life as if it's so easy. You don't believe in stress. You believe we should be happy doing what we are doing. So I'm really, really glad that I met you. I'm glad that I work with you. I'm glad that I could see, like, a family culture that is brought into a business life. So
Yeah.
I've learned from your family, like there can be this family bond, bringing it to business, and every other people are imbibing into the KloobySnacks culture. I'm really
Mhm.
amazed. Yeah, I'm really amazed by it.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. I can't wait to hear what Abby might have to say is in terms of last call. But just to feedback really quickly on what you were sharing, you know this as well as anybody. You're working with AI for marketing, and we see it everywhere. We know when we read something if it was a chat. We know if chat generated it, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, this is the KloobySnack now, right? This is like number 53. I'm still a fan of authentic intelligence. That's my kind of AI, right? And
Yeah.
what's happening is that with the proliferation, with so much of the content now coming from AI, and it's only going to accelerate, authentic intelligence is really going to be the premium. It's really going to become the currency, is who
Yeah.
can be authentic, who is willing to be themselves, who can be original, who can take time and edit the heavy lifting that was done and put some voice to it, who can infuse their business life with their family, who can wear it on their sleeve, who can be transparent, who can have voice, who can smile, who can take chances, who can wordsmith, who can, well, I'm raising my hand. I'm still a fan of authentic intelligence. That's my kind of AI. Abby, what do you got? Last call.
I've never actually spoken for last call. I'm always silent for this. I'll go on the trend of thanking you. I'm really thankful for you and for this project overall, because I think I've always known that there's so much that you could teach me and so much that I could learn from you. But I think that because of our stubbornness and everything that I talk about a lot in the book, I would always resist it. And I think that even though it took 16, 17 years, we found a way to do it naturally. And this, like the book and talking about it with these live streams, I've been able to like naturally learn from you and learn all of these things that I think that I know that you've been trying to teach me for so long, that I was always so against and so like, whatever, dad, like, okay, dad, like, I get it, dad, like, okay, cool, dad. But now it's like I get to actually learn them from you, and I don't think that would be possible or would have happened now or this fast or to this capacity without this project. So I am really, really thankful for this project, and that you asked me to be involved and were so open to me wanting to be more involved than you initially asked. And I don't know how we can top it or what is next, but I do know that I still have so much to learn from you, and I think that this book continues to teach me. So very thankful for you and for this project and for you allowing me to be part of it.
Yeah, it's funny because I've got 6 other books you can read. Like if you're really excited about learning from me, I got anyway. Yeah, and let me ask you a question: is it sinus time, or are you getting emotional there as you're?
Stop it! I was not when I was speaking, but when I was thinking about what I was going to say, and I got sad. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'm a happy camper. I'm going to stay jovial. This has been wonderful. It's great that you're here, Vicky. It's great that you're here, Charlie. Abby, this has been. I mean, it's been set up tonight. Like, nobody's done this. We've done something nobody else has done. You know, and we've taken our relationship and we've put it out there. And I hope we make a difference. I hope we make it easy and fun to look within. And nobody could take this away from us. Not just that it's immortalized in a book and all the videos that we've got and the reels and the clips and the shorts, but we have broken through and connected with each other in just an unbreakable way. And it's kind of like when, I don't know if you've ever done this, right? But when you go like Las Vegas and you take $100 and you put it down on blackjack, and then you get blackjack, so they pay 1.5, so they pay you 150, right? So what do? You take that original 100 and you put it back in your pocket, and now you're playing with house money. And that's how I feel the rest of our lives. I feel like I'm playing with house money now. I feel like I've won the race. I feel I've achieved the goal. I've broken through. I've cracked the code. I've solved the puzzle. Whatever it is. And I know that we're not done. You know, it's going to get, more dynamic when you start career and then building your own family and all of those things. But it's just, the concept is, I felt like I was in debt and struggling and scrambling in survival mode so much of my parenting life with you. Especially when you got to the teens. The early years were easy. I was dad. We did daddy-daughter dances, and right. But once you wanted your freedom and your independence and your privacy, and it got weird. And I felt like I was in debt. I felt like I was in survival mode. But that's all gone. I feel accomplished. I feel successful. I feel fulfilled. I feel like I'm playing with house money. Like my original investment is back in my pocket, and now I get to keep playing with profits, with dividends, with bonus. So I don't know if I've said it this way, but Abby, thank you. Thank you. I took a chance on the inferior posture. It worked. I'll never forget. Hey, I made sure I was sitting down. I made sure you were standing up over me, the physical inferior posture. Hey, will you help me? You're like, what? What's up? And that was it. So I just, thank you for playing ball. Thank you for getting excited. Thank you for maturing beyond the stubborn resistance that you had to me wanting to be the best dad I can be for you. I fail so often. I make so many mistakes. I have so much work to do to be a better version of myself, a version that I idealize myself to be. But thank you for helping me get this far. And I met what I said, in here, it was about you. I could talk about AJ in other contexts and Brody in other contexts, but like your mother before you make me want to be a better person. So thank you, Abby.
No problem.
All right. So that's it. That's it for KloobySnacks. That's a wrap. It's hard to say goodbye, but goodbye we will say. And it's not goodbye. It's just, we're wrapping this up and making room for other stuff. But I love you, Abby. I love you, Charlie. I love you, Vicky. I love all of you out there in cyberspace. I hope we've made it easy and fun to look within. I hope we've made the accountability of our most cherished relationships a little less threatening. I hope you've had a laugh or two along the way. And yeah. We're easy to find if you ever want to reach out and talk about coaching or a book project or anything else that we're doing professionally. But I'm out of words for tonight, you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much for an
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye, Abby.
And a happy new year to all. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Yeah.
New Year, Abby. Happy New
Happy
Year.
Clue year. Happy Clue year.
Have a
Happy
good one.
Clue Year.
Happy
All right.
New Year.
Good night.
I love it. Love
All
it.
right.
Love
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye bye, everybody.